Hey everyone, George here. Yesterday, my episode on soft white underbelly published, and first of all, I just want to thank Mark for having me on and giving me the opportunity to share my story. And I really just wanted to kind of talk about why I share my story, because I think maybe some people don't understand, but also just want to, continue to really be about my mission, and that's simply helping other people. So first and foremost, that's why I share my story. Not that it's some special, insane thing that, only an exceptional person could have done. I'm average. I'm just a regular guy. And I think that's why I share my stories, because so many of us feel that we're not enough, that we're not special enough, or, have enough impressive things that we've done, or don't have the right family background, or make enough money, or things like that. So I tried to just share my story in a way to help the average person see, hey, we can all get better. And it's not a competition about who's suffered more. It's really about trying to help each other so we can continue to grow. So, the comments have been overwhelmingly positive. There's been many people saying, thank you for sharing. I see a lot of myself in what you've shared. And that's my goal. That's my hope, is that whoever you are, whatever you're struggling with, that by just sharing what we're going through, it doesn't mean we have to agree on everything. We don't have to agree on a lot of things. That's fine. But we probably have some common things that we've suffered from or struggle with. And by just being transparent about those things, we can actually help each other figure out why we're struggling, how to actually heal, share what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, things like that. And especially with men, I think, I'm 36 as of this video. And at least in my generation, we were still kind of on the cusp of that. Men don't cry, men don't talk about things, men don't have emotions. They're just tough all the time. I think there's still a lot of that hangs around. And in some cases, yes, right? We need to be that. We need to just buckle down and be tough and drive on and be the warrior and all those kinds of things. But very rarely, I was literally a professional warrior, and I really didn't need to be that guy very often, even though that was my profession. I think more often than not, having more skills like emotional regulation and patience are far more masculine, far more beneficial than just being the tough guy all the time. So, I try to break down that false assumption that I think a lot of guys still have, at least guys around my age, that if they are honest about what they've struggled with, what they're hoping to do, or just sharing their story to try and help someone else, that it's somehow weak, or, they're a loser or something like that. And, people are going to hate you no matter what. You're going to have people get upset with you. I mean, you can post a picture of a banana and people will argue about it, right? So if that's what's holding you back from getting the help you need, or sharing with someone that you care about who may be able to help you or be support for you, you need to just push that from your mind. Like, those people who are just going to say hateful things to you, they don't know you. They don't know what you've been through. And they're probably dealing with their own pain too. And, it just makes them feel better to kind of lash out at you. So, again, Mark, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my very normal story. I'm just a guy on your platform with all of these people, because really my only hope, it's not to push sales to anything. It's not to try and sell a book or have you watch this or that. It's literally just to help people realize that you can be more. You don't have to stay stuck where you're at. And however you do that is kind of up to you, and you'll have to decide that for yourself. I can't force you to do anything, but I hope that I give some people some hope, quite frankly, some realization that they don't have to stay trapped by what's plaguing them. That was my story. I doubled down on being the wrong guy. I kept making the same mistakes and trying to hide it instead of seeking actual help for it. And it wasn't until I basically had no other option, kind of hit my rock bottom, that I actually started healing. And my guess is that if I would have surrounded myself with people who were sharing kind of like I do now, I probably wouldn't have gone down that same road. I probably would have recognized sooner where I needed to take ownership for my flaws, and not to like beat myself up or whatever, but to just find out how to be better. And that's really all I'm trying to do. So what an incredible experience. I was extremely fortunate to be able to synchronize all of this, going out to California and being on this incredible podcast, not just by myself, but with one of my best friends, Denny Jamazzo. who also shared his story. And Denny's a great example of a guy who's been through far more than I have. I mean, he suffered way more than I did. But like me, he's just trying to share a story and get better. And it's not a competition of who's had it harder. And we support each other left and right and cheer each other on and hold each other accountable and share ideas on how we can both be better men. And that's really all it's all about that. And so it was just an incredible experience to be able to head out there with him and do this whole thing together. And, I think we gave each other a lot of strength too. And that's another thing I really try to show with my story is that, by yourself, you're limited. You're only one person. You can't have everything figured out. It's impossible. You're not going to be the best at everything. And so by surrounding yourself with better people, you have to first be a little bit vulnerable. You have to be courageously transparent to build that trust together. But once you do, these people elevate you and they cover down on where you struggle and they can help you be better in those things. So going out there with Denny was incredible because I think, we both gave each other a lot of courage to be able to share what we needed to share. And, we definitely fed off each other's energy. And so I'm just really grateful to Denny for being a real, rock in my corner, a guy I can rely on and trust. And, friends like that are hard to find. So I'm very grateful for him. And then I also have to give a humongous shout out to Seth Gale. He's a good friend of mine. He's become a good friend. And I'm just immensely proud of him and all the work he's been doing. But, it was because of Seth, he introduced us to Mark and gave us this opportunity. And if you haven't watched Seth's story, again, an example of a man who's been through just an unbelievable amount of suffering. My level of suffering has never even come close. But we have a lot more in common than what separates us. And we have both been a help to each other. And that's really all this is about. So apologize for my voice. I'm kind of fighting off some sickness here, but just want to share some of my thoughts and just thank you all. And if you watch my story, I don't care about the clicks or whatever. That's not what this is about. I just care about you. And I maybe can't help everyone, right? There's a lot of you out there. But if my story at least gave you the spark to go try and fight that fight you need to and be a better person today, then mission accomplished. And, if you disagree with me, that's fine. You can say whatever you want. I just hope that collectively we can all start healing these wounds. Because I think there's a lot of really hurt people in our country and around the world, but it all starts kind of with parents. If you are a parent watching this, it's your responsibility, even if it's unfair, whatever's happened to you, it's your responsibility to take action today and try and stop it with you. The buck has to stop with you, and don't pass it to your kids. So whatever happened to you, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry you had to experience those things. But if you fight to make it stop with you, the impact you will make on your children's lives and by extension, all of their children, that's real legacy. Male or female, that's how you make a huge impact in this world. So I love you all. Thank you for watching. God bless.